Chapter 1, The Cemetery of Forgotten Books. I still remember the day my father took me to the Cemetery of Forgotten Books for the first time. It was the early summer of 1945, and we walked through the streets of a Barcelona trapped beneath ashen skies as dawn poured over Rambla de Santa Monica in a wreath of liquid copper. "Daniel, you mustn't tell anyone what you're about to see today," my father warned. "Not even your friend Thomas. No one." I'm Jan Macartney, the Borough Librarian at the Henry Bloom Noble Library in Douglas, and my chosen book is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. First published in Spain in 2002, this novel was translated into English in 2004 and became an international bestseller. It's the first novel in the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series, which has 4 volumes to date. The book is set in the 1940s and 50s in the author's birthplace of Barcelona. Hidden in the heart of the old city is the Cemetery of Lost Books, a labyrinthine library of obscure and forgotten titles that have long gone out of print. The story begins with an antiquarian bookseller taking his 10-year-old son Daniel to the library, where he's allowed to choose one book. He pulls out the last surviving copy of The Shadow of the Wind by Julian Carax. Daniel loves the book so much he sets out to find the rest of Carax's work and is shocked to discover that someone, a mysterious figure, has been systematically destroying every copy of every book Carax has ever written. The man calls himself Lane Kubert, the name of the devil in one of Carax's novels. The story takes the reader on a journey through Barcelona's darkest secrets. It's a gripping story with an intricate plot of murder, magic, madness and love, which kept me captivated and quite literally swept me off into Daniel's world. Over the years as a librarian, you won't be surprised to hear I've read many books, but the first chapter of The Shadow of the Wind is the most enchanting and compelling I've ever read. Zafón keeps you hooked through his beautiful and beguiling language for the remaining 400 pages. It's an absolute must-read. No one. Not even Mummy? My father sighed, hiding behind the sad smile that followed him like a shadow all through his life. "Of course you can tell her," he answered heavy-heartedly. "We keep no secrets from her. You can tell her everything." Shortly after the Civil War, an outbreak of cholera had taken my mother away. We buried her in Montjuic on my 4th birthday. The only thing I can recall is that it rained all day and all night, and that when I asked my father whether heaven was crying, he couldn't bring himself to reply. 6 years later, my mother's absence remained in the air around us, a deafening silence that I had not yet learnt to stifle with words. My father and I lived in a modest apartment on Calle Santa Ana, a stone's throw from the church square. The apartment was directly above the bookshop, a legacy from my grandfather that specialised in rare collector's editions and second-hand books. An enchanted bazaar which my father hoped would one day be mine.